always wanted to kick your ass. You think you can mess with my boyfriend and get away with it?
Last night when he was crawling out of my window.
Shut up! Hey, Sky.
No one messes with her unless they want to end up in the hospital.
Here, just go to the car. I'll be there in a minute. Seems like you and Sky have a little issue.
And who the hell are you?
I'm her sister.
Maybe tell your sister to mind her own business, too.
Wow. You're scary. Now you listen to me. Now do you believe me that I am totally serious?
"17 years ago, a frightened teenage girl is wheeled into a delivery room with her mother standing beside her, not as comfort, but as enforcer. The girl screams through the contractions, sweat soaking her hair, and when the cry of a newborn finally fills the room, the nurses move fast, too fast. The infant is lifted away before the mother can even see her face. The teenage girl reaches out, her voice cracking as she begs to hold her baby, but her own mother nods grimly to the staff, and the child disappears through a set of double doors. The girl sobs into the sheets, alone.
Where's my baby? Let me see her! Where is she? Get away!
2 decades later, that same girl is now a woman named Laura. She has a husband, Michael, and a teenage daughter, Skyler. The pain of that hospital room has been buried under years of normal life, of school pickups and dinner conversations and quiet evenings at home. But buried things have a way of climbing back up. It begins on an ordinary afternoon. Laura, Michael, and Skyler are eating lunch when the doorbell rings. A young woman is standing on the porch, polite and a little awkward, asking if anyone named Anderson lives here. Laura tells her no, the Andersons aren't on this street. The girl apologizes, smiles softly, and walks away. Laura watches her go, and something tightens in her chest. The story didn't quite track. Skyler jokes that the girl is probably a serial killer who'll come back later in a mask to murder them all. Michael tells her to stop watching so many movies, but Laura can't shake the feeling. There are no Andersons in this neighborhood. There never have been. The next morning, the girl returns. This time, she doesn't lie. She looks Laura straight in the eyes and says, "I'm your daughter." Laura's world tilts.
I'm your daughter.
The girl introduces herself as Bree, explaining that she was raised by a family called the Hogans, that she has an adoptive sister, that she found Laura through an organization that helps adopted children locate their biological parents. Laura, trembling, finally tells the truth she has carried for 20 years. She never wanted to give her baby up. Her parents did it without her consent, and she hasn't spoken to them since. She has spent 2 decades hating them for it. Bree listens, eyes shining. By the end of the conversation, mother and daughter are holding each other on the porch, promising this is only the beginning.
And I never forgave them for that.
Can I hug you? Yeah.
And here is where the universe, with almost suspicious timing, intervenes. The very next day, Michael is at work talking to his colleague Gareth when Laura calls in tears.
You're kidding me.
No, hold on. Michael, this is the wrong way.
He races home to find detectives in the living room. Laura's parents have been found dead in their home, killed by carbon monoxide from a faulty furnace pipe. The detective adds, almost gently, that they aren't ruling out foul play. Did anyone want to harm them? Laura just shakes her head. She hasn't seen her parents in nearly 20 years. She has no idea who their friends are, who their enemies might be. After the police leave, Laura admits something to Michael that troubles him more than the deaths themselves. She isn't grieving. If anything, she's angry that her parents have managed to overshadow what should have been the happiest week of her life. Quite a coincidence, isn't it?
Oh, speaking of awesome.
Oh, come on, you gotta meet your sister.
Make me feel bad. Fine.
A young woman appears, claiming to be the daughter Laura's parents tore from her arms. And within 48 hours, those same parents are dead. Skyler, meanwhile, is buzzing with a strange mix of nerves and excitement. She has questions her mother doesn't want to hear. Why would Bree go searching for her birth mother if her adoptive family was loving and good? Laura brushes it off as natural curiosity. Every adopted kid wonders, she says. So Skyler shrugs and lets it go. Bree comes for dinner. She is gracious, charming, the kind of guest who compliments the home and laughs at the dad jokes. Michael asks where she went to school, and she tells him Memorial High, only 30 minutes away. He's never heard of it. She gushes about how surreal it is to finally meet her biological mother. When Skyler admires her manicured nails, Bree offers to do hers, and the 2 girls disappear upstairs to bond. While painting Skyler's nails, Bree mentions, quietly, that she's always wanted a sister. Skyler tilts her head. But you have one. Bree pauses, then clarifies. A sister by blood. Something about the way she says it lingers in the air a moment too long.
I thought you said you had a sister. By blood.
Well, come on.
Let's go. know.
Over dinner, Bree casually offers to pick Skyler up from school the next day. Laura is delighted. Michael, watching this stranger fold herself into his family with such ease, is not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a great idea.
Yeah, it gives them a chance to spend a little more time together. I mean, that is Bree, if you don't mind.
Be my pleasure.
The next afternoon, Skyler is cornered in the school parking lot by a girl named Chloe Lasty, the school's resident terror. Chloe accuses Skyler of flirting with her boyfriend, something Skyler swears she never did. The threats escalate quickly. Chloe promises to enjoy beating her senseless. And then Bree arrives. Chloe stops mid-sentence and walks off. Skyler, shaken, tells Bree that no one messes with Chloe Lasty unless they want to end up in the hospital. Bree just smiles and tells Skyler to wait in the car. What happens next, Skyler doesn't see, but Chloe sees it. Bree calmly walks up to the bully, drops her like a sack, and leans down close. She tells Chloe that she will be watching, and that if Chloe ever so much as looks at Skyler again, she will carve up her pretty little face so badly that not even the janitor would take her to prom. The threat is delivered with the eerie calm of someone who isn't bluffing. That night, Michael tells Laura he is uneasy. They don't know this girl. They don't know what she's capable of. Laura, drowning in 20 years of guilt, refuses to hear it. Bree deserves a place at this table. Bree deserves a family. The argument is interrupted when Chloe's father shows up at the door, furious, demanding to know why his daughter came home with bruises and a story she won't tell. Bree appears and handles him herself, her voice quiet and dangerous. She explains that his daughter has been bullying Skyler for months. She apologizes if her tone earlier was too harsh. The man, somehow, backs down and leaves. Laura watches the whole thing with something close to awe. To celebrate this new family member, Michael throws a backyard barbecue and invites Gareth from work. But Gareth has been doing some quiet digging. He's found things online about Bree Hogan that don't quite match the story she's telling.
Okay, Tom, there, all right, buddy? All right, Mr. Tom, the truth, the whole truth.
I'm glad she found us.
Me too.
So where is this young woman I've heard so much about?
She's over there, talking to Sky.
Oh, yeah. She looks very sweet.
This is Gareth Drury.
Don't even start with me. Not too carefully, I hope.
At the bar, drink in hand, he corners her. He tells her he knows she hasn't been honest with his family. Part of his job, he says, is knowing how to actually use the internet. He hands a drink to the lawyer Michael has invited over and excuses himself to find a bathroom. The bathroom is occupied, so he steps outside into the side yard to relieve himself. He doesn't hear Bree behind him. By the time he turns, it's already too late. She brings a rock down on his head, and Gareth crumples into the grass. She drags him into the shed. She tidies herself up, and then she rejoins the party, smiling, charming, asking Skyler if she needs help with anything in the kitchen. When Michael, oblivious, tries to introduce her to Gareth later, Bree casually says they've already met. Just briefly, he was on his way to his Uber. The lie slides off her tongue like she's said it 1,000 times. But Michael, watching her, feels a chill he can't name.
You're right, man. She's lovely.
Ooh, Laura, thank you very much. Eyes over here, pal.
Quietly, he pulls the lawyer aside and asks for a confidential background check. Don't tell Laura, just check. Then the detectives are back. They take Michael into the yard and tell him Laura's parents were murdered. A neighbor saw a young woman lurking around the property the day they died. One detective wanders toward the shed. He glances inside. He doesn't see anything. They thank Michael for his time and leave. But their cruiser sits parked across the street, watching. Bree announces she has to go. She drives away fast, too fast, and the unmarked car follows her at a distance. That night, Laura admits she told Bree everything about her parents, about the adoption, about the years of silence. She doesn't see why this matters. She shuts the conversation down and rolls over to sleep. Michael lies awake. The next day, Michael tries to call Gareth and gets only voicemail. The lawyer arrives with the background check. Bree Hogan, adopted by the Hogan family in 1996, attended Memorial High School. Everything checks out. Everything matches. Michael lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding.
It's okay, you owe me a drink.
I owe you one. Yeah.
Upstairs, Skyler is laughing with Bree about boys in school. She asks if Bree's sister minds them spending so much time together. And here Bree's expression flickered. She tells Skyler she isn't close with her sister. Her sister, Jessica, was jealous because their parents treated Bree like their own daughter and gave Jessica nothing. Jessica acted out, then acted out worse, until eventually their parents had no choice but to put her in a mental institution. She doesn't want to talk about it anymore. Bree slips off to the bathroom. Skyler reaches into her purse for nail polish, and her fingers brush against something metal. A ring. She lifts it out and reads the engraving. Eleanor, Skylar's blood goes cold, but she doesn't know why. Not yet.
That's my favorite. Is there a Sky, right?
Yeah.
Later, Laura announces an idea over dinner. She wants to give Bree her own room in the house. She expects smiles. Instead, Skylar, very carefully, asks her mother what her grandmother's name was. Laura answers, puzzled. Eleanor. Skylar doesn't say what she found. She just tells Laura it's too soon to give Bree a room. Laura, hurt and emotional, leaves the table. In her bedroom, Skylar does what every suspicious teenager in 2019 does. She gets online. She tracks down the Hogan family's address. The next morning, she drives there alone. A kind woman named Elizabeth Hogan opens the door. Skylar introduces herself as Bree's half-sister, and Elizabeth invites her in. At the same time, back at Michael and Laura's house, one of the detectives returns. No one answers the door, so he wanders into the side yard. He moves a bin. He looks past the shed, and then he sees the dark stain on the concrete. He follows it. He finds Gareth. He reaches for his phone. He doesn't get to dial.
Hello, detective.
In the Hogan kitchen, Skylar is telling Elizabeth everything. How Bree appeared one day. How she said she was Laura's biological daughter. How she's been living in their lives ever since. Elizabeth's face goes pale. They had no idea Bree was looking for her birth mother. That, Elizabeth says slowly, would explain why she's been disappearing so often. She describes her daughter Bree as private, but mature, but honest. When Skylar asks about Jessica, Elizabeth confirms that Jessica had problems, deep ones, and no longer lives with them. She brings out a photograph of the two girls. Skylar stares at it, and her stomach unclenches. The girl in the photo is the same Bree she knows. Maybe she really has been wrong about all of this. And then a young woman walks through the front door. She is Skylar's age. She has kind eyes and a soft smile. She extends her hand. Hi, I'm Bree. Skylar stares. The girl who walks in is not the girl who has been in her house. The girl who walks in is the girl in the photograph next to a different girl. A darker-eyed girl. A girl Skylar now realizes she has been letting paint her nails and pick her up from school. Skylar points to the photograph with trembling fingers. She asks Elizabeth which one is Jessica. Elizabeth points, gently, to the daughter Skylar has been calling Bree. That's our daughter, Jessica. Skylar bolts for her car.
Whatever you do, do not let Bree into the house. She's not who she says. House, okay? Don't let her in.
Back at home, Laura pulls into the driveway and notices the detective's vehicle parked outside. The house is too quiet. Inside, in the kitchen, Jessica is calmly washing blood from her hands. She hears Laura calling her name. She picks up a vase. She waits behind the wall. Skylar, driving like a maniac, dials her mother. The phone goes to voicemail. She leaves a message screaming that Bree is not Bree, that Laura cannot let her in the house, that she is dangerous. The vase is already swinging. Laura wakes up tied to a chair by the pool, her head pounding, her vision swimming. Jessica is sitting across from her, calm as a stone. Laura begins to cry. She apologizes again and again. She tells the girl she never wanted to give her up. She is so sorry. And then Jessica laughs. She tells Laura that all she ever wanted, in her entire life, was for her parents to love her. But they couldn't, because the moment they brought home the new baby, the adopted one, the unwanted one, all their love poured into her instead. Jessica was forgotten. Jessica was the leftover. And the more she tried to fight her way back into their hearts, the more they pushed her away, until they finally locked her up. Laura's face changes as the truth lands. This isn't Bree. This is the sister. Jessica tells her that if Laura had simply kept her own daughter 20 years ago, none of this would have happened. Bree would have been raised by Laura. Jessica would have been the only daughter. Her parents would have loved her. So Laura, in Jessica's eyes, is the architect of her entire ruined life. And Jessica has been very busy correcting that mistake. Laura's parents, Gareth, the detective, all of them, gone, because they got too close to the truth.
Mom?
The front door bangs open. Skylar comes flying through the house, screaming for her mother. Jessica turns just in time to take the impact as Skylar tackles her. The two girls crash into the patio furniture, fists flying. Skylar, smaller and softer, takes a punch to the face that nearly knocks her out. But she fights. She fights for her mother. She breaks loose long enough to reach Laura and rip the ropes free. Jessica gets back up. She is on Skylar in seconds, hands wrapped around her throat. Skylar's vision goes spotty. She can't breathe. Jessica's face is twisted into something unrecognizable. The mask gone, only the broken thing underneath. And then Laura is there. Laura, who watched her infant taken from her arms 20 years ago. Laura, who has spent every day of those 20 years carrying a guilt that was never hers to carry. Laura swings, hard, and Jessica drops.
Oh, baby.
Sirens wail in the driveway. Michael bursts in with the police. Jessica, dazed and bleeding, is dragged away in handcuffs. At the hospital, a detective sits down with Laura and Michael and tells them what they've pieced together. Jessica Hogan has been in and out of psychiatric institutions for years. She is, the detective says quietly, exactly where she belongs. He leaves them alone, and a moment later, a young woman is escorted into the room. She has kind eyes. She has a soft smile. Laura looks up and sees, for the first time, the daughter she lost. The two of them speak. Laura, weeping, apologizes for everything, for a lifetime of absence, for the violence Bree never asked to be tied to. And Bree, with a grace that almost breaks Laura in half, simply thanks her. Thanks her for not ending the pregnancy. Thanks her for choosing to give her a life, even one Laura couldn't be part of. They hold each other's hands, and 20 years of silence finally falls quiet. In the final scene, the camera drifts into a sterile, white-walled common room of the institution. Jessica is sitting in group therapy, holding a photograph in her lap. She is scratching at it with her fingernail, slowly, methodically, gouging out the face of the girl beside her, the real Bree's face. And then she looks up, eyes glassy, smile small and serene, and she says it like a promise. I'm Bree. Her next family, she whispers, is going to love her.
I'm Bree. My next family will love me. I promise.